I must say that it's very unfortunate. We had an incident last night, which is at the Rouge et Noir Casino in Front Street. The Central Dispatch received a call at approximately 8:55 p.m. and they sent of a robbery going on in the casino, and they said that a man came into the casino and he fired several shots at the money cage. That's where the exchange, where you change money and so on. And he fired several shots at the money cage and trying to shatter the glass. The glass did did have quite some damage on it. Anyhow, he forced himself into the cage on a different fashion. I believe he went through the door, and he removed a certain amount of money. I don't know if it's a large or a thing amount of money, but that money was removed from the cage, or the casino cage where the cash is held, and he fled the scene. No one was injured during the incident. Several patrols, the detective, forensic department were there to collect evidence, and the detectives were there questioning witnesses to what had exactly happened. So as you know, it's very sketchy. The suspect fled the scene. Nobody could tell us up to now which direction he fled in, or people were avoiding saying which direction the suspect ran in. Nevertheless, we have a good idea on what happened. We now are busy trying to piece together how the whole thing took place, and we hope that we can ensure that we have some information, positive information, that we can release to the public, and the public can also help us catch this suspect. The driver of this car, as he stopped and the officers attempted to approach him, he took off at a very high speed towards the Churchill roundabout in cul-de-sac. The officers then chased him with the vehicle, and while the driver of this car was going on at such a high speed, he wanted to make a left turn. He abruptly made a left turn to turn into the ISIS road that's right on the corner of the dollar store, and he didn't pay attention. He didn't give any regard to the oncoming traffic. That was a small gray vehicle with license plate 877, and in doing so, he collided almost head-on with this car, causing it to hit into a fence and causing severe damage to that vehicle. Then the suspect vehicle, which is the P8 389, continued driving and hit a parked car that was parked in the parking lot of the dollar store with the license plate 8209, and it came to a stop. The driver of the suspect vehicle jumped out of the car and took off running. So the police officers chased him on foot, and they apprehended him shortly after. They managed to apprehend him shortly after. After that, we noticed that the driver of the silver vehicle that was hit into the wall was complaining of pain in his body, pain to his chest. So the ambulance was immediately called in, and they treated him on the scene and then took him to the St. Martin Medical Center, where he was treated for his wounds, or for his condition. The suspect himself, who fled on foot, during fleeing he injured his leg. He cut his leg somewhat, and he too was taken to the medical center for treatment. Of course, the traffic department is investigating, so on the scene they had to divert traffic to take different roads to get in and out of St. Peter's, the St. Peter's area, so the traffic department can really conduct their investigation.
All right, what is next, ladies and gentlemen, on the Pink Breast Cancer Awareness Month is, of course, the Celebrity Waitress Dinner. Here is where we have women in our community that are going to be serving, ladies and gentlemen, a 4-course dinner over at Mumbai Restaurant in Sonesta, Maho. It's $65 per person, and of course these waitresses, these celebrity waitresses, are going to be working for tip. So if you want to be part of it, make sure to contact Moonbow Restaurant, make your reservations, and of course you can request the different waitresses that are participating. And I'll just list a few. We have Kenty Lichtenberg from Sualiga Service Point. We have Susie Cartacromo from Princess Juliana International Airport. We have Dee, co-host from Laser 101, a super duper morning show, and a few other women of our community that will be serving them. That is happening on the 10th over at Sonesta, so make sure you're there with a little touch of pink. We're asking the people to wear a little touch of pink. And free means somebody's picking up the tab at the end. So on that note, I would like to introduce one of our corporate sponsors who has been with us for many years, and that is none other than Manrique Capriles. And here is, of course, the operations manager from Manrique Capriles is Miss Valeska Laurent. I'll leave the floor to her.
Hi Electra, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Well, as Electra said, we're going through our Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we're very happy to be on board as a sponsor for the events. As Electra mentioned, we've been a sponsor for a few years now. So, and it's our pleasure to be on board to bring the awareness to ladies, not only on getting your breast checked, but also on having doing our skin analysis, so that you feel, because if you feel beautiful on the outside and also on the inside, so we're getting that done together. So for the month of October with Manrique Capriles, we have our Pink Fridays going on, like we did last year, where you can go and come and have a skin analysis here at the office on the Pondville. And also what we did different this year is that we also have a doctor every Friday, so you can also get your breast checked by a doctor on Fridays. It starts off at 5:30, and then of course on Saturday I'm going to be at the Celebrity Waitress event as a guest. And on Sunday we're going to be there at 5 in the morning to give out some goodies and help with the sponsorship on that. And then also, we didn't reach there yet, but we're going to be at the Painted Pink from Koiman. Very excited to be there. So come check us out, and ladies, make sure you go and get checked, because early detection is the best protection.
Anybody bingo? Nobody bingo.
Need a loan that's quick and easy. Island Finance. Up to 50,000 guineas real easy. Island Finance. For education, a renovation. That's no problem. Yes, it's true. That's not all. They're quick and friendly too. Island Finance. Appliances, vacations, even fix your car. You can depend on Island Finance.
Vitamalt takes care of you. And now, check under the marked caps for a chance to win prizes. More detail on press.
LBC.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Basketball once again.
LBC.
Check it out. LBC.
It's okay. Get back up.
That's right. Bring your friends and your family.
As you know, I presented just before I left to Namibia concerns about the national ordinance on the integrity chamber to the Constitutional Court. The Ombudsman is the only one that can, as guardian of the Constitution, look at new laws and check whether they are in contravention with our Constitution. As I always explain to the people, my only measuring stick is the Constitution, nothing else. Whatever protocol or agreements with third parties, whatever the feeling of the people, the only measuring stick is the Constitution. And in reviewing that law, that on integrity, the integrity chamber passed by Parliament last month and ratified by government, I realized that there is an imbalance between the authority of the integrity chamber to investigate integrity issues and the rights, the protection of the rights of the people in general. As such, I had three main issues. One, where the administrative authority of the integrity chamber and the criminal authority of the prosecutor's office in investigating integrity breaches which becomes a crime, which are a crime, that they are not properly separated. Yeah? I wouldn't go into details. Maybe at the other time I can explain that. Secondly, the authority of the integrity chamber is of such an extent, for example, if a public official is being investigated, everybody is obligated to cooperate with the investigation. If you don't cooperate, you can get a fine or even imprisonment. However, not only the public official has to cooperate, but everybody else. Let's say they suspect that you have some valid information in your computer. They can come to you, seize your computer for the investigation. You have no tool to protect you against that. And that's not correct. That is in contravention with your right of privacy. So you must have a tool, a means to go to court and ask the judge to look at it, whether it is right that they confiscate your computer and look for what they want to find. So it is very important for people to know, no, there's nothing wrong with investigating. However, the citizen's right to privacy has to be protected. So after I submitted my, and what is very important, I realized in scrutinizing that law that an important article which had protection of the rights of the citizens, yeah, that it was removed from the law at the last session of Parliament. And we know that the Advisory Council is the body that advises on laws. The Advisory Council had emphasized that the protection of the citizen is most important. After they removed that clause, they didn't send it back to the Advisory Council to advise on it. So I'm saying if the Advisory Council did not advise, I think on behalf of the people, the citizens, the ordinary citizens, the Constitutional Court has to look at it. Because as the protector of, as the guardian of the Constitution, it behooves me as Ombudsman to bring it to the Constitutional Court.
This afternoon, I called my good friend and someone who I have always held in high esteem and think it was one of our shining stars, if you want to put it that way, Honorable Minister Dennis Richardson. I called him. He's the only minister in the Council of Ministers that I called, and I told him, Dennis, I expect you, more than any one of them, to lead by example. You have been governor of St. Martin on 2 terms, I believe it was, when the constitutional change process was taking place. Together with Governor Holliday, Dennis Richardson was my 2 main advisors, along with others, but my 2 main advisors, Richard Gibson was another one, Reinald Groeneveld, there were several others. And we have seen Minister Dennis Richardson come here in Parliament and enough times put up a strong fight against the interference of the Dutch in our business. When the Dutch wanted to bring new screening regulations, when the cabinet of the UP government was to be screened, National Alliance brought certain changes to a motion that they had initiated. We changed it completely and we gave them a unanimous vote. And when I met with the Dutch representatives, I told them I will not and could not support it. Why? Because I said we should have faith in our own institutions. And I think to bring an instruction for added screening to please the Dutch, I think was a motion of no confidence in the governor, I said at the time, because if the screening worked in 2010, in 2012, and 2013, it should work now as well. And it isn't that people never failed the screening. There was one minister that was attempting, one person that was attempting to become minister after our government left office, and they failed the screening. So if the system could fail this one, the system should be able to fail that one as well. So here we are with the whole integrity chamber. It is Dennis Richardson, the minister who stood here on the floor of Parliament and sort of riled Parliament up against the interference of the Dutch and called on Parliament that if we don't do it, what would you prefer? We do it ourselves than to have the Dutch interfering again in our business. And I'm saying this is our business. A democratically elected group in Parliament, 8 members of Parliament supported a motion that says we have no confidence in the government, we no longer support them. What that government is expected to do is hand in their resignation. And I told Dennis Richardson, and I'm making again a public plea for him to lead by example. Because when we became country, Dennis Richardson was sent as a member of the Council of Advice of St. Martin to be our representative on the Council of State. And if you were a former lieutenant governor, if you were a former member of the Council of State, and you blatantly put the Constitution aside simply to prolong the political wishes of some to stay in office long enough to fix deals that has to do with waste to energy, to fix deals that have to do with here, there, or where. And Dennis Richardson's defense that they want to dissolve Parliament to avoid people getting into government who would do things that are not correct. My thing is, well then how could you support a government that gave away Emilio Wilson Estate to a developer for far less than if it was a local had asked to give it to them in long lease? When you ask government for long lease land in Point Blanche and in St. Peter's and South Reward, but if you go in South Reward, anybody asking for land in South Reward would pay much more than these people are paying. And it was land that Dennis Richardson was bought by government when the decision was taken to make sure that Amelia Wilson is preserved as a national park for the people of St. Martin and for its historical and ecological values. But no, you peddle it off. You support that. Dennis Richardson supported a government that tolerated the signing of a memorandum of understanding of GB management with some group in Santo Domingo, and up till today they can't tell the people of St. Martin what was the content of that memorandum of understanding.
Anybody bingo? Nobody bingo.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
In my opinion, everything is perfect and you would be great for the job. But I see here that there's a 2-year gap in your resume. What did you do?
I was hospitalized for mental illness.
Oh, mental illness?
I've undergone treatment and I have a wonderful family that supports me.
Well, that is good news.
No, it's fine. I'm recovered.
We'll contact you, okay?
For a better understanding of mental health and what you can do to stop mental health stigma, please go to the Mental Health Foundation's website at www.mhf-sxm.com.
Need a loan that's quick and easy. Island Finance. Up to 50,000 guineas real easy. Island Finance. For education, a renovation. That's no problem. Yes, it's true. That's not all. They're quick and friendly too. Island Finance. Appliances, vacations, even fix your car. You can depend on Island Finance.
Be aware of what is the heart disease, what are the symptoms, what do they do to get to the hospital urgently. Because if you go to the hospital urgently, you can be treated urgent, and that's what is necessary. So you need to know what are the symptoms. Second is what can you do to prevent it? Because it's a major issue on heart disease. You know, 1/3 of people in the world who die of heart disease. 1/3. In every 3 people, there's one who die, if they die, from a heart disease. So therefore, it is good, and it's growing. It's coming bigger and bigger. So it's an issue. So well, there are things that are not modifiable, because if you are old or if it's in the family, etc., then you have a problem that is not modifiable, but you will get it. You should know that you can get it. And another thing is, but there are a lot of modifiable things, like your high blood pressure, which is a very big issue. So you need to go to the doctor and let your blood pressure be managed. Blood pressure, overweight, not exercising, all that. Are we going to address that?
And according to your analysis, what's the rate looking like on St. Martin?
Well, we don't have the figures, but what we think, we don't think that St. Martin is different from things which are going on in the world. And we just, as we speak, I got some figures from Curaçao, where we send our patients now. And well, it is in more than 3/4 of the patients that we send have multi-vessel disease, which means that the heart vessels are not well. So, but that's a very small amount, and we need to go further and evaluate that. But I don't think that St. Martin is different from other countries. And why don't we think that? That's because they have high blood pressure, they have diabetes, and that are the key factors that would lead to heart disease.